I just arrived in the capital of Georgia. I'm here in Tbilisi and I'm going out to show you what's in this abandoned city. A city that suffered a lot after the end of the Soviet Union. And now we're going out to explore and find out what's here and why this capital might surprise us or not.
Georgia is a country located in the Caucasus, a region often forgotten by many travelers, but it's full of history and culture, and it's very rich. And until 1991, it was part of the former Soviet Union. In our video series about the country, you will learn a little more about this nation that is now experiencing a new reality and dreams of one day becoming part of the European Union. But after all, what is there in Georgia?
This place was the stage for many events of the Soviet Union, and there are a lot of things happening here, new developments. And I want to start by exploring the place that was the scene of a major communist scandal here, where illegally they made newspapers, magazines, and pamphlets to support Lenin's government. Welcome to Georgia, travelers. We've arrived in Tbilisi. I'm now entering the Museum of the Illegal Press here in Georgia, where Lenin led several articles and printings to promote his regime. There's a man who still keeps this museum going today. Look at this surreal place. It feels like we've gone back to the 50s or 60s, I can't tell. Hey, look at these ruins here. It's crazy. They did all of this illegally because at that time the Bolsheviks wanted to spread their propaganda, but they couldn't do it legally. So they created underground, hidden, and truly illegal printing presses to spread their message.
The Bolsheviks were a revolutionary group led by Vladimir Lenin. They would take power in Russia in 1917, thus starting what would later become the Soviet Union.
It's really crazy to think about everything that was happening, right? Behind the scenes so that the regime could work, right? At the time, so that it could happen.
To enrich the communist regime in Russia, Vladimir Lenin implemented a series of drastic and violent measures. They included systematic political repression, forced nationalization of the economy, and the use of state terror, which I will tell you about later in the series here.
From Jorge.
It's a famous quote from Lenin, and it was said at that moment at the Smolny Institute there in St. Petersburg.
Well, and this one you're seeing here, he's Rodrigo. Rodrigo is a historian specializing in the history of the Soviet Union. And he was the one who helped me a lot to bring several interesting facts about the country and its history, which I will share with you today and in the next videos.
That's when Lenin says that what we promised has come true. The Bolshevik Revolution has taken place. So this is a famous painting. A curious detail about this painting is that it doesn't portray the exact reality, because Lenin had recently fled to Finland, and to do that he disguised himself, shaving off his entire beard. So all the images that show Lenin during the revolution because he would be unrecognizable without that look, and he set the house on fire. Later they would even blow up the basement of the print shop, but no revolutionary was caught. He's saying that no revolutionary was caught because the Tsar's regime was so horrible, that even among the police, among the Hrana, the Tsar's guard, there were sympathizers of the Bolsheviks. They gave information, and when the guards arrived here, there was no one left.
It's really crazy to think that exactly the very place where I'm standing couldn't have existed in the Soviet Union, where news was created, where a lot of things were printed in a way that, let's say, was illegal, because this simply couldn't happen.
I think it's really cool how they keep the building like this, in ruins, you know? I don't know if it's also because of a lack of resources, but I think it gives an incredible, fascinating vibe, you know, for those who travel here and come to see this place. My God, what a trip.
He's showing a Chinese textbook that tells the story.
Good thing we have Rodrigo to translate, or we'd be screwed. He only speaks Georgian and Russian.
You have to read this book. The Strange Granddaughter of Stories is the name of the story in this book.
Georgia is a country with many forbidden places, and this museum here is one of those places. Even though it exists, it is not a place publicly supported by the current government, if you know what I mean.
Spasiba. Thank you. How did they find this illegal press? This used to be an ordinary house, so no one suspected a press operated below. The ladies would just sit on the porch. If any suspicious movement happened, they would warn the people who were in the basement. So how did people get to the basement? I'll show you. There was a well, a fake well. The people who worked here would enter through this well. They would go down using a rope and cross over until they reached the printing room. That's where they made the publications, right? Where they printed the papers. I'll show you this well here so you can see it. It looks like a well. I would never guess that someone could go through here. This was actually a secret passage. They'd go down here, cross over, and reach the graphics room for printing. The map shows it better. See the well? They'd enter here and walk to the printing room. Above was a regular house, so people on the street wouldn't notice. Only those in the basement knew. How did they discover it? A security guard came here. They didn't see anything suspicious, but the guard decided to throw a burning newspaper. When the burning newspaper reached the end of the well, the wind tunnel created in this passage sucked the newspaper in. Then they got suspicious. That's how they found out. Then they set everything on fire. But in 1937, they rebuilt this place to be a museum, so today you can visit this place. Few mention this spot in Georgia. It's not well known, but it's interesting. If you're curious about the history and the movement here before and during the Soviet Revolution, check it out. It's well worth taking a few minutes to visit this museum. My God, there's an open limousine here in the middle of the street, in front of the museum. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Wow, it smells good, doesn't it? It smells new and well kept, though there's a spider web nearby. Look at the subway here in Georgia. Here in the capital, Tbilisi. It has a very Soviet vibe, really old too, kind of like in Baku, but still much simpler. The credit ran out, you have no balance, oops. And the subways here are much deeper than in Sao Paulo. I'm going crazy. In the subways, we see a lot of traces of Soviet communism there. Look, in the back, that's a symbol representing some of the main Soviet poems. See? A man, a jaguar, and a jaguar fighting there. The subways for me in the former Soviet republics are real museums because there's a lot of history besides being beautiful. Wow, they're all really beautiful. A curious fact about the stairs being so deep, about the subways being so far down, is that they were also built to serve as bomb shelters. So much so that in Russia's war with Ukraine, Ukraine has used the subways a lot as bomb shelters. If you look at how incredibly deep they are, guys, look at this. People sat down to rest since the trip is long, and check out this classic little cell phone shop. Every subway has a little shop selling cell phone trinkets and cases. I love it. I occasionally buy knickknacks here. Now we're in the city. Funny, isn't it, how the capital here, Tbilisi, has such an old vibe. Look, right here in front, there's the same artwork from down there that I told you about. The leopard and the man. I love how it's beautiful here, even though things are run down. The contrast between old and modern stands out. There's a super modern building, something really old, and something in between.
Something really old.
Classic subway from the 1960s. The street. And this is Estevam showing you Georgia as it really is. Guys, the name of this writer was Shota. Shota, really, his name was Shota, which is a pretty common name here. Several countries in the Soviet Union have this name. There's a Ferris wheel back there. Can you see it? On the TV tower. McDonald's, that capitalist communist contrast. And here is the Academy of Sciences. The interesting thing is this, look, they actually stop so you can cross. They stop. They're eager to be part of the European Union, right? So this is one of the first steps. Very good, Georgia. Absolutely right. Respecting the pedestrian. There are a lot of scooters here, guys. A lot. There's a walkway here, little street fairs going on. It's a really nice city. Such a cool vibe. I'm going in now. Staying here, it feels, I don't know, it's kind of a Berlin Soviet vibe to me. That thing where a lot of the old history is preserved, but you can see the country is moving forward. It's modernizing. Wow. Wow, that's cool. Look at this awesome place. And this building here is a good example of Stalinist architecture. That's that really imposing architecture. Everything is huge. It was the main architectural style of the Soviet Union. So what did they want? They aimed to create monumental structures combining arches, Art Deco, Neoclassicism, and Baroque, many styles mixed. To display power, everything is highly symmetrical and grand. You see not only this large, impressive structure, but also several other buildings here. They clearly wanted to display strength and power. This is something very striking, very prominent, I would say from the 1920s to the 1960s mainly, which were the golden years of the Soviet Union, up until the 1980s. Even after Stalin was gone, the Union continued to exist until its end in 1991. I think it's cool to see this little fair here, that mix of modern and old I mentioned. But this area isn't really the old city anymore, right? It's now considered the new city. But since it's a 19th century city, it's actually not that new. ATM, here is this little door for currency exchange. That's it. It's the kind of place where you'd think, oh my God, it's abandoned. In Brazil, you wouldn't go in there at all. But here, look, it's fine. It's busy back there. Look, business is happening. There's even massage.
The capital of Georgia is often called the Berlin of the Caucasus. That's because the hipster, electronic, and cool scene has been growing here more and more. In the next images, you'll see how the Blitz kit really reminds you of several corners of Berlin.
Look, this Soviet-era building is now the Biltmore Hotel. Isn't that crazy? How ironic. Up there are some images. You can clearly see some images of workers and such from the Soviet era. It's very common. Hello. There are a lot of street markets here. Like this, in the middle of the street, downtown, there are a lot of people selling things, all kinds of things, lots of old books. Look, there are some really old ones, genuinely old. Atlas of Soviet Georgia. Look, there are a lot of relics here for those who like this kind of thing. This is the place to find them. A lot of old stuff, man. Can you see what's written? None. Passing by the Opera House now. Oh my God, what's that? I just advertised you guys. You were European, now come honk. It's not easy. And gratitude, right? Anyway, a little souvenir shop here in Georgia. You would have looked at the traditional clothes. You can see them well, these dolls, clothes, plates. Very Georgian gentlemen here. Very different from everything else. There's a lot of art around the city. Look, lots of little dolls like this. Look, out of nowhere, you see an ATM, a doll, some art, a shop, another little doll over there. I'm loving this. It's hipster. Very hipster here. Really feels like Berlin. The thing here is massage businesses on that street over there. A bunch of them. Hello. Beautiful here. Look at this place. I loved it. Get some coffee and eat something. It's okay, baby. I just got coffee. I was going to eat there, but we'll eat later. Just enjoying this beautiful day. Lots of thrift stores too. Plenty of secondhand items here. If you like vintage, this is your spot. Oh. But this lady here gives out fruit. Okay. Filming right here, I know you guys really like to see, right, what the vibe of the city is like, the feeling of the city. This is just a normal day, a business day, people going to work, living their lives. Man, that gentleman over there doesn't have much patience. That one doesn't want to join the European Union. I just got to Georgia's parliament where the main protests happened. After the Soviet era, they removed all the symbols. It was a major revolution that changed everything. Even today, I don't know, every 3 to 6 months, there's a big protest that happens around here. Up there is the flag of Georgia. I'll talk more about it later. It really looks like the flag of England, right? It's the same cross they use. Here in front, we see the European Union flag again. That's the dream. There's also a cross as well. Speaking of crosses, the grapevine cross, it's a very important symbol for them. It's tied here to the arrival of Christianity in the country. Georgia is officially the world's second Christian country, right after Armenia, which we'll discuss soon. Look at that. It's kind of like, hello, how are you? Check out this palace here. Stalin's mother lived in the back of this palace. People really enjoy it here. But it's also a very beautiful place to walk around, sit in the park, buy a magnet. Out of nowhere, there are shops everywhere, okay? The economy is moving. The Georgian economy is really thriving with a portrait selling her art. And they're arriving at the main square here. Here we have the Georgian Garden, where the Republic of Georgia was proclaimed. There was a Republic of Georgia, yes, before the Soviet Union. Georgia was once a country. It was the Republic of Georgia. But then it became part of the Soviet Union and only became the Georgia we know about 34 years ago, more or less. And here in the garden, there's business here too. Commerce is everywhere. Everywhere. Look, son, there's an H&M right next to where Stalin's mother lived. It's a shock. The shock of capitalism for people. Look at that huge mall, my son, that they built right next to Freedom Square where we're heading. And what's it for? It's to project that image, right? Capitalism, freedom, that Georgia is now prospering. We're finishing up here. We just left Shota Rustaveli Avenue. Guys, that name is really funny, right? Shota Rustaveli. He must have suffered a lot in school. Shota Rustaveli was one of the main Georgian poets. He was largely responsible for depicting the golden age, right in Georgia's medieval era. Even today, he is highly recognized here in the country. We leave Shota Avenue and go, I am mature. Actually, no, I'm not mature, guys. Shota. All right, let's go. Let's go. Enough of Shota. It's not possible to stay with Shota like this, right? The police close the street and the influencer goes for it. Go make your content and use the protest to your advantage. Back there is the mother of Georgia. I was really looking forward to seeing her. See that statue in the back? She's considered the mother of the country. The square is beautiful, isn't it? It's amazing. And I just arrived at Freedom Square. So, Estevitor, tell us more about this square. What's so cool around here? Right in the middle of it, look, where we see St. George. We used to have the statue of Lenin. Yes, because Lenin was the great leader here. Stalin, from Georgia, led for a time. After the Soviet Union ended, they removed everything and added this new symbol for a fresh look. This used to be the Soviet City Hall. What else is here? The Marriott Hotel. George W. Bush stayed at this one, making it famous. Coming from Sao Paulo, motorcycles make me nervous. My phone almost shakes with fear. This square is also well known, especially for frequent protests. Wait for us to cross. My friend and I are passing through. Excuse me. Thank you very much. I don't speak a word of Georgian. This is quite a trip. I always try to learn a few phrases, a few words from the places I go, but let me tell you, Georgia, Azerbaijan. I found my group. I was lost here. Georgia, Azerbaijan. And as for Armenia, I won't know many words either. At most, hi, bye, and no. Azerbaijan, I learned. Yeah, salam was hi. Anyway, watch the Azerbaijan video. I don't know who's going to say that. Every place is a place, my friend. Why? Why register your business? Just come to Georgia and sell. Set up your little stand on the street and be happy. Look at this beautiful place. Look at the beauty. The guy over there put out his chair. The cat crossing. We're here walking. There's a playground over there. We're right in the heart of Georgia's capital, Tbilisi. Wow. Let's find a restaurant here to grab a drink and eat. Interestingly, life here starts late. In this part of the Caucasus and in Azerbaijan, things don't get going until after 10 or 11 a.m. And that's being generous. There are restaurants here that only open for lunch at 2:30 in the afternoon. It's really late. But before food, let's try some authentic Georgian wine. Takeaway, 5 GEL, about 10 reais. A liter for 6 GEL, 12 reais per liter. Look, I would never have found this place. Blue wine, my friend. Blue wine. We just arrived at a really cool wine cellar here in the heart of Tbilisi. The professor told me there's blue wine here. They claim it's naturally blue, but it just looks like food coloring to me. Really? There's green too. There are several colors. Should I believe, guys, that this is natural? It looks like hard candy, huh? The orange wine is Ricati Ricazzelli. The red wine is Super Ave, and the place they brought us to is called Vino Azul, underground wine, a real underground cellar. It's the first Georgian wine. Let's see what it's like. Tastes good, right? Young, boyish, 11% alcohol. Safa 2022? That's what I can say. I'm trying it now. And the price is here, right? They're good, you know? Look, the wines in Georgia, besides being the oldest in the world, have great prices. They're delicious. You just multiply everything by 2. So this bottle here is 20, 35, 32. As you go up, I think the price goes up, right? 112 reais, pretty good. We sat down here to taste because in a little while we have our super Georgian dinner, and I'm really excited to try some typical foods and share them with you. Many restaurants and cafes in Georgia are underground and hidden behind unnoticeable doors. There's a lot happening below the surface. I love this city. I'm heading to a cafe I found here on the map. It's about 500 meters on foot, and the city here is a mix of so many things. A nice little cafe, open with a plant in a kind of abandoned building. Here there are a lot of things that haven't been redone or renovated since the Soviet era. It's kind of neglected, you know? This wasn't where I was going, but I thought it was cool. They say it's open. Look how beautiful it is here. Really nice. Hello, but I'm not going to stay there. No, I'm not going to stay there. No, I'm going to the cafe I found on the Find Me gluten-free app. Look, there's Mother of Georgia. You can see her from here. You can see her from here. Look underneath. We're going to meet her in the next video. Today is just for first impressions here to see what's in the city. People in the square chatting and going about their lives. Notice these little places we pass, including this one. Lots of books, coffee, and so on. You can also see the cable car we'll take tomorrow, plus a church and small houses. What a place. I wonder what's in here. I don't know, I'm not going in. It's too inviting. Contrast the Mercedes with the abandoned Soviet building. This is Tbilisi. Here, look, everyone smokes in this place. I've never seen anything like it. They smoke, they share, they tweet, they honk. Wow, we turned the corner and it completely changes the whole atmosphere. We were on that street over there. I turned, look. It's different here, just me having some pizza. Look how beautiful, calligraphy wine bar. Look how beautiful. Hello, how are you? Out of nowhere, I think this is one of the cities where I've seen the best blend of old and new. And it looks beautiful, right? It's amazing. And it was right here I found it. This is the little place. Wow, what a cool street. Now I like it. This area here is awesome, just the way I like it. Look at this nice mix. Look at that street with the flag. There are several flags of Georgia there, not just one. Let's talk about the flag. This main cross is the cross of St. George, their patron saint. This reflects the Christian faith and Georgia's history as one of the first countries to adopt Christianity in the 4th century. Besides that, the Red Cross was also used as a symbol of the Crusades, something the Georgians identified with. It's still talked about a lot to this day. The 4 small crosses are the Bolsheviks crosses, which represent the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But some people say they represent the 4 corners of the world, showing how Christianity spread across the planet, especially starting from here. They have this great pride in saying that they were the pioneers of this religion, and also the white represents innocence, purity, and peace. The red, on the other hand, stands for struggle and blood, the unity of the people who fought so that today they could be a nation. But this flag that we see today only came into existence after 2004. It wasn't right after the fall of the Soviet Union, but after 2004, especially starting in 2003, the Republic got a new leader and began to take Georgia in a new direction. Now let's go to this cafe here. Look, old cafe. What a nice place. There's a square here. I tried. And this lovely lady came and ordered a berry lemonade with fruit. Or you can order it with fruit too, which I think is delicious. And the people here, look, the DJ's got a good vibe, which I liked. Delicious. It's pure syrup. It's delicious. Salad's a bit off, but the lemonade's great. Salad 50, R50, lemonade R20. It wasn't that cheap. One really crazy thing here in Georgia is this. You see, there are 4 people working here at the cafe, at the restaurant. None of them care at all. If you don't want to order, yeah, the service here is really bad, really bad. The restaurant is actually empty and still nobody looks back. There are people who go over there and when you try to say, excuse me, and some water, please. Thank you. Let's go, man. It's time to try some real Georgian food. I'm heading to the restaurant here. It's Gwedi, a restaurant offering many local dishes. Let's check it out. Look at this beautiful avenue. Georgia, you're winning my heart. Such a great place to stay and visit. I think the restaurant is nearby, right, John? The map points this way. Wait, not here. Maybe it's in this small courtyard. Look, guys, doesn't this look just like Berlin? See the abandoned car and the police? I think it's this way. This building really feels Georgian and it really looks like Tbilisi. Maybe it's back here. Let's check. If not, we'll keep looking. The map is tricky here. I think it's this little door. It's here. Very crowded. Hi, little dog. Yes, this is definitely the place. It wasn't, guys. I don't think this is the place. Where is it? Oh, it's over there. We're almost there. Maybe it's in a courtyard. I think it's nearby. Now I found it. Look, lots of little alleys and back streets. They say it's around here. That's the word on the street. And I'm here at dinner, man, talking with friends. My friend here, he lives in Georgia. Hey, hello, what's your Instagram? It's 13 Kara. 13 Kara. He's a person who works with, he talks about politics, comments a lot about politics and so on. And I've been talking a lot with him about what it's like to live here in Georgia. He said that he really likes living here, that it's really cool. And now the country is opening up more and more. It's been receiving more tourists. Do you think that in recent years we have more tourists than before? Like in Georgia, we have lots. Yes, more tourists than before, much more tourists than before. And do you think that people here are usually open to tourists? Or are they more reserved? It's actually one of the economic sectors we have here. So, yes. Yes, I'll tell you. A lot of people told me that people in Georgia weren't that open to tourism. but I'm finding them really welcoming. I found Georgians to be very welcoming. In fact, much more than I expected, you know? Thank you. The people here are already finishing up the work that was started, and I'm going to start trying a lot of typical foods here. Look, from Georgia. They really like bread and wine, of course. So here we have red wine with wine. What is this wine called? Casetero. Orange wine, red wine. Tasty. Tasty. It's a lot like what we had before, the fruity flavor and all, but this one's dry, really tasty. Let's toast, guys. Cheers to Georgia. I like this music. If I die, use my travel insurance. Cheers. You're going to cut the salud. Meat, potato, salad. Salud, 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 salud. Here, salud, this salud. It's very famous here, the dance and the bread. Mon pote, I got this little ball. Salud. I ate rib and big spine. It's good. Just crystal. Well, I don't know. But the potato is good. Let's go. This disc is less, look, than the Sarel Salud. All right then. Arriving at Mirage Street. It's okay, it's okay. I miss seeing Ramon with you, damn. We salud. Have to worry about having too much of it. Stopped, bam. They brought lemon soda with fennel. Is that it? Teval read it for us. Look at the color. Dough spilled it. Looks natural, huh? Looks like it has no coloring. I like it. Super natural. It's Fanta, but it's green with lemon and fennel. It's not coloring. It looks just like coloring, but it's not. Like grape Fanta, which is pure grape coloring, pure fennel coloring with lemon. Not even lemon. It's not fennel. I prefer wine. And to end this nice day, I want to know your thoughts on Tbilisi, Georgia's capital. Tomorrow, I'm going to show my itinerary of what to do and share several curiosities about this country, go through the main tourist spots, and you fellow travelers, stay with me. You won't leave me, right? I'll see you in the next video with all the main tips about Georgia, this amazing capital, Tbilisi. Don't forget, if you want to become a member, click on Become a Member. And never forget that you are an amazing human being and you can go as far as you want. See you in the next video, okay?